Hey guys, Dave Hathaway. I am here in Baltimore City, and today I'm going to discuss how to find a good rental property. I'm going to give you a 4-step process to find a good rental property, and I'm going to use an example, this building right here that I'm pointing to next to the white or tan one of our recent rental properties we just purchased, and we purchased at auction. And we'll use this property as an example so you can understand what a good rental property looks like, how to find it, and everything in between. So what are the puzzle pieces to find a good rental property? Number one is understanding your market. What I mean by understanding your market is looking at a lot of properties. This is an easy way to get to know your market, is looking at several properties a day. I often look at 20 properties a day, every single day, and it keeps me very on top of my market. It keeps me sensitive to changes in sales prices. It keeps me sensitive to how much things rent for, and it keeps me sensitive to trends in the area. Step 2 is creating a filter. When you look at so many properties, you can become overwhelmed very quick. If you go to, per se, Zillow or Redfin, you might see hundreds of properties in a different market, depending on what market you're looking at. This is super overwhelming, especially if day after day you're going to the same platform and you click on the same properties and you go, I think I've looked at that one. Oh, yep, definitely looked at that one. Don't want that one. So creating a filter, zeroing in on what you truly want, whether that's zeroing in on bedrooms and bathrooms. I like bigger properties. I like 4 bedrooms or 5 bedroom properties, and I like 2 bathrooms or plus. I often am looking at 3-level row homes. So I have narrowed down what I look for, and then also narrowing down maybe the zip codes that you're really interested in or the areas you're interested in the city. Creating that filter via a real estate agent, Redfin, via Zillow, that will allow you to see properties in your target area and not get overwhelmed by the hundreds or thousands of properties in the area. Step 3 is analyze. Analyze the properties. So as you start looking through those properties and understanding your market, once you start analyzing those properties. If you don't know how to analyze properties, we have a great video on how to analyze properties, and we have a free cash flow analyzer that you can download to start to get in your reps. And so you'll understand how rents and how your monthly expenses are going to correlate to give you a good rental property. Now, in the beginning, you're going to want to analyze everything until you understand how it works and how to pick out good deals. Then after a while, once you're experienced, you'll be able to scan lists or your filter, and you'll be able to pick out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties that you know, hey, I think this is already going to be a good property. I've found that the best investors can do this super quick. So when I look at a list of 25 properties in my area, I can pick 1, 2, or 3 out right away just by looking at that list or scanning that list that I know, hey, these are potentially great rental properties. Analyze over and over and over until you build that muscle, build that habit. Next, I'm gonna wanna head on over to the property and we'll talk about the 4th step. So let's go over and analyze this property right here now that we're over on this side of the street before we walk into the property. Guys, if you haven't already done so and you like this kind of content, I'd love you hit the subscribe button. It helps us build an audience and helps us to reach more people. Analyzing this property, the numbers that we needed to know were how much we could purchase the property for, and I could purchase it up to $60,000. Luckily, we got this one for $40,000 because it was at auction. It's gonna cost about $50,000 for the rehab, and it's gonna rent out for somewhere about $17.25 a month. So all said and done, when you look at that analyzer that you can download for free, it's gonna make $1,209 a month, or 15.36% if we purchase it with all cash, or if we lever the property and put a loan on it, it's gonna make about $700 a month, or 35% returns. So this is a great rental property right here. But let's go in and we'll look at the 4th and final step. So we're inside the property now. And the 4th and final step is understanding and being able to estimate the rehab. I just call it Understanding the Rehab, because that means you know how much it's gonna cost, or you're gonna know how much to estimate for, allocate to the rehab. We have an amazing video of how to quickly and easily estimate a rehab. So if you don't know this step, definitely check out this video right here. But the reason you're gonna need to understand how much the rehab is because you're gonna use, just like in the analyzer that we just talked about, you're gonna use the sale price and then you're gonna use the rehab price. And you have to be able to figure out how much the rehab price is with either working with a contractor, with just being generally knowledgeable yourself. With either of those things, you can either have you walk the property, the contractor walks the property, or you can just come up with a general estimate from looking at the pictures. That one's a little bit more dangerous because sometimes you can't tell everything from the picture, whether the floors are sloping, whether the components are good. They're just gonna highlight the best areas of the property. They're not gonna show you all the nitty-gritty, nasty things. So having somebody actually walk the project is gonna get you a much better feel for how much the rehab's gonna cost. So I'm gonna walk you around and kind of show you how I estimated for the rehab and what I looked for in this property that made it a great rental. Let's go. Most of the walls, although look disgusting, were in good condition, and we could reuse the drywall. It looked like the electrical had been updated at some point, and you can find that also by looking at permits that are pulled. But if you look at like the outlets, they're ingrained in the wall. Often you'll find outlets that are on boxes on the wall or have lines going from outlet to outlet. Can't see too well down here, but when you're in the basement of a building, you're looking at, has the electrical panel been upgraded? And if you look over here, you're looking at, do you have a hot water heater? How old is it? Do you have a furnace or a heat pump? And do you have central air conditioning? And once you're looking at the pictures and understanding, hey, I don't have to install new venting throughout the house for a heat pump. So you can start to understand different elements that are gonna save you money or that are going to cost you money. And that's why understanding the rehab is just ridiculously important. The other things that you're not gonna be able to tell all the time if you're just using pictures, again, is if floors are sloping or if joists are rotted. Those aren't gonna come out in the pictures, but you will be able to get an overall view of, hey, how much you're gonna spend other than structural issues. So that's what the kitchen looks like. And moving up the stairs, the bedroom upstairs. And I realized right away that all the bedrooms were really big. They had closets. There was only 1.5 baths in this one that would affect rent, so we're gonna add a full bath upstairs. But there's ways that you can add value to make the property a better property or cash flow more. One of those ways is to add bedrooms and bathrooms. So we're gonna have to redo all the windows here, so you would need to know window cost. But going up the stairs, I'm not gonna go up the stairs because the guys are actually doing work. Once we purchase the property, we actually start doing work on it really quickly. So guys, those are the puzzle pieces of how to find a good rental property. Let's go over those 4 steps one more time. The first is gonna be understanding your market, knowing your market really well. The second is going to be filtering properties, so zeroing in on the type of property and the location that you want. The third is going to be analyzing properties, so knowing how to analyze and getting used to the expenses, the rents, and how much your property will cash flow. And the last, or the 4th step, is understanding the rehab, understanding how to budget for the amount of work that a property will need. If you use all these puzzle pieces, you can find good rental properties in any city. There is an added bonus here of how to supercharge your results for this. So if you are a one-man team, a one-man band, you're doing everything on your own, you're looking for properties, you're trying to walk the properties, drive the streets, that is great. If you want to supercharge your results in finding a rental property, my suggestion is adding these 2 players to your team. Number 1, add an A-player realtor or real estate agent that knows the area as good, if not better than you, would be great. So then it also adds a check and balance in your system. You can run things off of them, they can run things off of you, maybe put you in check when you need to be in check. So maybe say no to that property that's on the fringe area and you're like, I don't think that's gonna be a great purchase, Dave. You want that person in your corner. The other teammate, the other A player that I suggest you find is a great contractor. When you find a great contractor, it can help you on estimating the rehabs, but it also, you hit the ground running right when you find that good rental property. You can start working on it right away, which will allow you to start to achieve rents and get cash flow quicker. So I hope that helps. Again, if you guys haven't already done so, like and subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content, and we'll show you how you can go through the journey and find a great rental property. See you guys.